Procrastination is a silent enemy. It hides behind perfect justifications. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not in the mood today. I'll start properly when I have more time. And just like that, days turn into weeks, weeks into months. What could have been the beginning of a new chapter in life becomes yet another postponed dream. And the most dangerous part of all? Sometimes we don't even realize how much we're losing. This is where practical philosophy comes in. Not that academic, distant philosophy full of difficult words, but Stoic philosophy. Concrete, real, lived by men who faced wars, loss, exile, and yet remained firm. They knew the human mind is the most difficult battlefield there is. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote daily reminders to himself that everything could end at any moment. And not out of fear, but to act with urgency. He said, "You live as if you had 1,000 years ahead of you. Death hangs over you. While you're alive, while it's possible, be good." This is, at its core, a calling, an invitation to act now, to not wait for motivation or ideal conditions. The perfect moment, in truth, is an illusion created by the fear of starting. Modern Stoicism, just like the ancient kind, does not promise comfort, it offers clarity. Procrastination is nothing more than an internal conflict between what we know we should do and what we momentarily prefer to do. Stoic philosophy teaches that right action doesn't depend on our emotional state. Epictetus himself said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinion of them. If you see a task as heavy, boring, impossible, it will be. But if you face it as an opportunity for strengthening, growth, progress, it transforms. Not magically, but through the change in your perspective." Real personal development begins when you stop negotiating with your mind. It's not about being rigid, it's about being committed. Self-discipline is the bridge between intention and result. And Stoicism in practice is exactly that, acting according to reason, even when your desire screams otherwise. A simple example, waking up early. Your body wants to sleep, your mind wants comfort, but your reason knows getting up is the first act of victory for the day. And each small victory strengthens the Stoic mind. Many people seek Stoic motivation as if it were a magical fuel. But the Stoics tell us the real fuel is clarity of purpose. Knowing why you do what you do. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." And it's this rational daring that pulls us out of the procrastination cycle. The first step is accepting that you will feel discomfort. You will feel laziness, doubt, anxiety, but you can act anyway. Modern Stoicism fits perfectly into today's chaotic world. Social media, notifications, constant comparisons, everything screams for your attention. But focus and discipline come from within, not from outside. Beating procrastination is, above all, an exercise in presence. Being here now, doing what needs to be done. Not what's easiest, but what's right. By adopting a Stoic life, you begin to understand that time is your most precious asset. You can't negotiate with it. You can't store it or pause it. Every minute you postpone something important is a minute that won't return. And procrastination steals more than productivity. It steals your peace. Because even when you're not doing it, you're thinking that you should be. It's a constant mental burden. Practical philosophy is a form of liberation. When you apply the principles of ancient wisdom to your daily life, you begin to act with more lightness, more purpose, more courage. You understand that perfection is the enemy of action, and that done is better than idealized. It's not about becoming a productivity machine. It's about living with intention, with meaning, with presence. Procrastination is almost never about laziness. Most of the time, it's about fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of starting something that might reveal our weaknesses. Stoicism understands this directly. The problem doesn't lie in the tasks, but in how we react to them. And that's exactly why Stoic philosophy is one of the most powerful tools to overcome procrastination, because it teaches us to master what we can control ourselves. Epictetus reminds us that some things depend on us, and others do not. This simple distinction, if taken seriously, changes everything. Your desire to do or not do something may fluctuate, but your choice to act, that is within your power. When you understand that you don't need to wait for the right moment, the right mood, or the right motivation, you free yourself. You act because you've decided to act. And that decision is true power. At the heart of procrastination lies the belief that tomorrow will be easier. But that belief is deceptive. If you don't cultivate self-discipline today, it won't magically sprout tomorrow. It is built little by little with small, consistent actions. The Stoic mind understands that every choice matters. Every decision is a vote for the person you are becoming. When you choose to act, even in discomfort, you are shaping a stronger version of yourself. Think of the times you've postponed something important. How did you feel afterward? Momentary relief, perhaps, but soon after, that bitter feeling of frustration. Procrastination is a pleasure that comes at a high cost. But when you act, even with difficulty, even imperfectly, the feeling is different. It's one of true relief, strength, progress. The Stoic life teaches us that the value lies in the effort, not the final result, because the effort is within our control. Stoicism in practice is exactly this: to get up and do it, even when your mind asks you to wait. It's writing that page, going to the gym, starting that project, having that conversation. Simple actions that become powerful when done consistently. The ancient wisdom of the Stoics is not meant to decorate walls with pretty quotes. It's meant to be applied every day, in the smallest of choices. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what needs to be done, even if no one sees, even if no one applauds." That phrase carries immense power, because overcoming procrastination isn't a public act of heroism. It's a silent, intimate, solitary act. It's you against you. It's choosing not to give in to the fragile part of your mind that seeks immediate comfort, and choosing instead the part that seeks growth even through effort. That's why true personal development is so rare, because it requires renunciation. It requires clarity of purpose. It requires courage to be different in a world that thrives on distraction. Social media, endless entertainment, the constant search for easy dopamine, all of this is fertile ground for procrastination. But the Stoic mind does not allow itself to be dominated. It observes, understands, and decides with clarity. To stop procrastinating, you need to stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness never comes before action. It comes after. You act, and by acting, you feel capable. By seeing that you succeeded, even with fear, your confidence grows. And with it, your strength. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes natural today. And little by little, you begin to transform. This is the path of practical philosophy. A good practice is to start the day with a small act of self-discipline. Something simple but symbolic. Could be making your bed, doing 5 minutes of conscious breathing, taking a cold shower. The act itself doesn't matter. What matters is what it represents. The beginning of a day under your command. This kind of healthy habit strengthens your sense of identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who acts, not someone who delays. And this new identity changes everything. Procrastination loses its grip when you take control of your own narrative. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always puts things off, and begin to see yourself as someone who faces things, who executes, who delivers. This shift in self-perception is perhaps the most powerful tool of the Stoic life. Because deep down, we live according to what we believe we are. It's not about changing the world all at once. It's about changing your posture toward the world. Start with what's within your reach. One step at a time. One daily commitment. One conscious choice. There is no magic, only practice. Modern Stoicism is not a philosophy of the past. It is a tool for building the future. And the future begins now in the decision to act, despite fear. One of the hardest, yet most liberating truths of Stoicism is this: no one is coming to save you. The change you're hoping for only begins when you decide to act. Seneca wrote, "While we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away." That sentence carries the weight of reality. Life is happening now, and every second wasted on doubt, distraction, or fear is a second that won't return. Procrastination, therefore, is not just a matter of productivity, it's a matter of life. If you're reading this, there's a good chance that within you lives a sincere desire to grow, to change, to take the reins of your own existence. And that desire is noble, but desire alone is not enough. Action is required. Practical philosophy is not meant for passive admiration. It is meant for active transformation. And Stoicism gives us, every day, the map for that transformation. Start small, but start with resolve. When you're faced with that task you always put off, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what depends on me here? You don't need to finish everything now, but you can take the first step. And the first step is always the most important. It's where you face fear, break inertia, and tell your mind, I'm in control. The Stoic mind doesn't seek excuses, it seeks solutions. It doesn't ask, why me? But what can I do with this? That mindset is the antidote to the self-deception that fuels procrastination. Because deep down, we know what we need to do. We just don't want to face the discomfort that comes with it. But it is precisely in that discomfort where growth lives. People who live stoically aren't cold or robotic. They feel everything: fear, laziness, doubt. The difference is that they've learned not to be ruled by those emotions. They don't let fleeting feelings decide the course of their lives. They choose based on reason, purpose, and clarity. And that's something you can cultivate too. A mind that feels, thinks, but acts with courage. Today's world offers 1,000 reasons to postpone what matters. And maybe that's why so many people are dissatisfied, anxious, overwhelmed. Not because they have too much to do, but because they keep delaying what's essential. Stoic philosophy teaches us to reorder our priorities, to put what truly matters at the center of life. And what matters? To live well, to act with virtue, to grow a little every day. True personal development is not about accumulating techniques or reading dozens of books. It's about consistently applying the right principles. It's choosing action over inertia, responsibility over excuses, focus and discipline over distraction. It's not about being perfect, but about being committed to your own evolution. And for that, you don't need anything more than what you already have: awareness, will, and action. Remember, procrastination is comfortable but sterile. It never takes you anywhere. Stoicism, on the other hand, demands effort but offers real rewards. By overcoming procrastination, you move closer to your best self. And that reflects in everything: work, health, relationships, self-esteem. Because when you follow through on the promises you make to yourself, you become someone you can trust. And that is powerful. Imagine for a moment if, for 1 week, you applied just one Stoic idea each day. Starting the day with intention, doing what needs to be done without complaining, being kind to others even on hard days, using obstacles as training, staying focused on the present. Just that would already change your life. Not because of magic, but because true power lies in continuous conscious action. You don't need a revolution, you need a practice. The practical philosophy against procrastination is not something you apply once and you're done. It's a way of life, a path you choose to walk every day. And yes, some days you'll fail, you'll postpone, you'll fall back. But the Stoic life is also made of restarts. What matters is not getting lost. It's coming back, reaffirming the commitment, and moving forward. At the end of the day, what remains is not intentions, but actions. What you did, what you decided, what you faced. Procrastination wants to convince you there's still time. Stoic philosophy shows you that the time is now, that life doesn't wait, that fulfillment doesn't come from the outside, but from the strength you cultivate within. And that strength is already in you. It only needs to be awakened by the choice to act, by the decision to wait no longer, by the courage to live fully, presently, and intentionally. That is the proposal of practical philosophy. That is the Stoic life. If this content helped you see procrastination in a new light and inspired you to take the first step toward a more disciplined and intentional life, subscribe to the channel. Here, you'll find deep reflections, Stoic practices applied to daily life, and real tools to become your best self. Don't put off until tomorrow what can transform your life today. Practical philosophy begins now, and so does your journey. Shall we go together?